PLAYERUNKNOWN'S Battlegrounds has been receiving a ton of interest as of late, with it topping Twitch and the Steam charts every so often. With it being only 6 months old, and already one of the hottest games to date, it's no surprise to see the PUBG team delve into esports with their recent invitational event at Gamescom boasting $350,000 in prize pool. I've watched day one of the event so far, and from what I can see, there are huge problems that the game has to face if it ever wants to truly flourish as an entertaining and engaging esport title. We'll start with the current scoring system that has been used for this event, as I feel it's one of the main factors that influence competitors on how they approach the game. For the solo game mode, you are awarded 500 points for placing first, 360 points for second, and 290 for third. These scale down until the top 20, I believe, so the longer you survive, the more you are rewarded. There are also points given out for kills, with 1 kill bringing in 5 points. So for example, if you killed 10 people in a match, you'd have an additional 50 points to play with. The problem with this, if you can't already tell, is that it promotes a style of gameplay that avoids action and rewards players more for hiding prone inside a house.
Meanwhile, Evermore's chilling. I mean, why not?
Evermore, you're a funny human being.
Oh, but look at all the players dying though. Here's takes out Viz.
If he just stays alive, he is earning points by being in this position.
I understand that the essence of any battle royale game is to survive the longest, but if you want to provide exciting and engaging content, players need to be rewarded more for taking engagements and going for kills.
Productions! Guess what? Your $350,000 tournament, it was a disaster today. Terrible to watch. Terrible winners. 2 kills. Camping in the blue zone. Stuck in rocks. Congratulations. Your game's never gonna get past this point. It's never gonna get past this point. It's just downhill from here. Look at me when I'm talking to you.
Obviously, Dr. Disrespect takes things over the top due to his on-stream character, but there's an element of truth behind it, and it's been a big concern within the community. Bear in mind that these are all people that want to see the game succeed and offer the best viewing experience for the player base. An interesting way of rewarding kills is if they scale by the number of players remaining. For example, until there are 80 players alive, every kill is awarded 5 points. Until 50 people are alive, 15 points. Until 25 alive, 30 points. Until 10 alive, 40 points. And from the remaining 10, each kill would reward 50 points down to the winner. This gives much more incentive for players to chase kills, but even more incentive to stay alive later in the game, where the kills are worth more. Obviously these numbers can be tweaked, and I'm sure someone can come up with better ones that are more fine-tuned. At the end of the day, it's all about trying to find a balance between it becoming a large deathmatch server and a resident sleeper prone in the grass simulator. The other issue I and many others saw with the event was the spectating system. This includes the dreaded third-person mode, which was, for whatever reason, set for the tournament. I shouldn't need to explain that third person is the least competitive game mode in PUBG, purely because you can spot for enemies whilst not actually having to peek. This example of it in the tournament shows how boring the gameplay can be when both players wait for each other to peek or simply get impatient. It should be obvious that any future tournaments within PUBG should be entirely played in first person perspective and not feature 2 days of third person and only the final day of first person. With third person aside, the actual spectating of the tournament was horrendous. There's no other way of really putting it. I understand that when spectating any PUBG game, you're bound to miss some action. Having 100 players in the server to switch to is an overwhelming task. This is much more challenging than any other esport title currently out there. With that being said, some of the camera work that we witnessed was just downright shoddy.
Whatever you like, whether you like it or not, there's 2 teams doing this as we speak. Unrude, though, is completely dismantling Liquid. Hayes just falls by the wayside, and he's going to do this all day long. We don't need to watch this. There's nothing he can do in the form of a fight. He might pop up and down to maybe do a little something, but it's not that interesting to me. So let's look elsewhere if we can and jump off this perspective, because the close is coming in. The circle's still good for them. You can see all the kills coming
Everyone's
through.
dying now.
Boom's taking them down. It's going to be the battle as we still watch the fishes, please.
When the viewers actually got to witness a firefight take place, there'd be multiple occasions where the cameraman would just switch entirely and you'd have no idea what happened. There was even one point, I believe, when the casters were specifically pointing out 2 players on top of each other in the circle, but the camera switches to Evermore, who was of course sat prone in some grass. One of the observer crew did say that the only way PUBG can be observed is with a 4-second delay when switching pause. This is clearly an issue the development team needs to address, as it makes the observer's job even harder, as if they needed any more of a challenge. At the same time though, some of these gunfights lasted longer than 10 seconds, and the camera would still switch scenarios and miss the action. There's no doubt in my mind it's a struggle to observe, but when stuff like that happens, it's unacceptable. Viewers watch people looting for 10 minutes, and when they finally get to see a gunfight, it's taken away from them. Something else that I noticed was the lack of player names when spectating. The only piece of information is the default in-game text, which is made for ants. At some points of the game, there's actually no information on screen, making it very hard to follow who is who. Because of how the third-person perspective works, sometimes the camera gets stuck between walls that are close to the player, which can create a very unpleasant zoom.
Oh, third person observing like this is just delightful, isn't it? Bloody hell.
In some cases, it will block the camera completely and leave the viewer with no information, as you can see here. So far it probably sounds like I've only been bashing the game, but that's only because I want to see it improve for future tournaments. I actually really enjoyed the tournament, and it's awesome to see over 100,000 people on stream watching competitive PUBG. Props to ESL for taking on the challenge of organising a proper tournament on LAN. Even with the issues I mentioned before, I strongly believe that this game will have a fruitful future and that it's just the start of things to come.
Pointing, if I'm not going to win it, I'll at least take some more and grab some 3 points. And yeah, I agree, it's a little bit obscure, but...
Oh, the pan
3
of
shots.
safety! How is he alive? Oh, Breaks punished him. Coming into their own, but oh my word, that's a bit awkward, isn't it? Car's blowing up. You're in the blue as well. This guy is living outside of the circle constantly. This is a strat, sure, but it's not one that I like.
Ninja moving on forward into the blue. This is super aggressive. He knows that this guy has to heal up because he's just doing so much damage to him.
Counter push. This is so nice. He's trying to use the deflate, trying to use the smoke to keep himself within cover as long as possible. Running line of sight.
Goom also takes down another player. Everyone at the moment.
He's going in with a shotgun. He has to. It's now or never. He needs to latch. Oh, he's done it. He's actually done it. Breaks already into the good cover now. He can just sit back, relax, and you know he's going to deliver. Nade to the first. 30 seconds now remain. Bear in mind, there's thousands on the line for this kill. Hayes only has a tree and an open road. Welcome to the highway to hell as Break is on the other side. And now we wait 20 seconds. Patience plays for both. And you can see the stim, the work coming in here from Break. He needs to take his time. He has no need to push, no need to rush.
To do anything.
He is fine here. Hayes needs to land back-to-back headshots. A level 3 helmet is still going to tank so much. It's going to be so tricky for Hayes to win this. It's all in pretty much Break's hands here. A couple of shots though, he's teasing him, he's toying him, keep him in check, and here he comes. The spray, we know he's known for it. No connection yet though. Nice work from Hayes. Oh, maybe he can do this.
Break. But the accuracy and the fire rate is insane. It's insanity.
Yeah. So if you played like any other game that has like an SMG in it with the high fire. How's that Groza? Yeah, quit out real quick. We definitely didn't see it. Just quit out. It's fine.
He's still standing his ground. I don't think he realised that bullet came. He's getting nicked again. All right, he's actually going to drive in the water. Fair play to him. Now he'll jump out. Yeah. So the one player that he was going for a ridge, he's going to sit in the back of it and go, please get the kill.
One shot. Brilliant stuff. That was a lovely, lovely shot. Readjustment from K because he looks to make his way up. He doesn't know where the shots are coming from. They could be anywhere. The suppressor works so well. What is this? Please land the shot. Stop making me talk about this horrible fight that's happening.
And now he can just lay down behind the cast.
Yes, Cake!
M24! Third time in a row! Cake, you monster! Thing is though, if he... Oh, is he actually going to get in the car and bail?
Vis right now is taking meds. I don't know if he heard the drop. So Vis doesn't know this, but Scoom's trying to find an angle. The third person's going to come into play. They both see each other. Oh, Scoom! Absolute beautiful play. And now it's Evermore against him. Waiting towards the south, slowly creeps up. Oh, no! It's Evermore! He appears at the right time, peeks over the hill. The third person play plays well for him. Here we go, teammates against teammates.
YOLO. Grenade.
Which CS player is better, but how many nades have fallen back on you? He's got the UMP close range. He's running on this one. He wants to fight. He's aggressive. Vector against UMP. The pan comes in. There it is. Lex dominates his teammate Flom. Player, but he's got high ground. But the problem is that it's very hard to traverse this area. Words are quite tricky. And a Car 98 is always dangerous because you're just peeking with your head. You're allowing those shots to happen. No! You know better than that, Oshi7. You just got punished. Both players are now stuck in a horrible predicament.
I don't think Andy knows, unless he's just...
Andy doesn't. Sequisha can just be the bringer of doom. He's going to probably die himself if he takes this fight.
No.
Andy has no idea. Oh
Sequisha,
no, maybe he's seen him. Get into the boat. Get into the boat and take the fight. Don't drive the boat. Go to the other seat and kill the man. He's done it. He can heal as well now. He dives back in the water like a madman, but he's got the swim on. Now 10 seconds remains. The 1v1 begins. Sequisha works his way up on the first. He seems hesitant on this area, which is not a bad idea. He's running around the circle. He's going to be the second to the fight here. He's got decent armor still on him. He's still okay on this. He's flanking him. He has no idea.
He has no idea.
Oh my god, Sequisha, this could be incredible. He's got the drop, but does he have the shot? The first tag comes in, the second, but no more. Sequisha on the reload, but the fight's going to happen. He has no cover here either.